Hi, I'm Titli and I'm feeling shower fresh and minty. Yes, I've just got out the shower. I'm not one of these people who has to spend hours in makeup every morning before I do stuff. Anyway, first of all, let me show you that the hedge has been done. Doesn't it look neat? But behind me is a bed that is stopped looking particularly neat and needs a lot of my attention. First things first, these geraniums are finished, so they're coming out. Now I'm kind of thinking with this geranium, it has a lot of colour into the garden, but it's in the wrong place. I think I'm going to stick it down that end of the bed later this year. Well, I've filled a bin and there's a surprising amount of new growth under here, so I've just let that be. It'll die down later in the year and then I can transplant this to where I really want it. Next on my list is this. Clear up this corner of the bed. Well, we're looking pretty good in this corner. There's quite a few small bulbs I've noticed, and I think later in the year what I'll do is I'll dig this out, riddle out the bulbs and replant them. Next on my list is this geranium over here. Cut out all the old growth. Not that there's much actually. Well, that's looking a bit better. Next, this fireweed is just about finished flowering and it's starting to shed its seeds, and also these foxgloves are finished so they can come out too. That's not too bad. In fact, I've dug the fireweed out as much as I can because it's quite a pernicious little beast and I don't want it all over the garden and all over this bed. Now, this has finished flowering, so I'm going to chop that back, and this is another plant that's going to get moved in the autumn. So, this plant has been hacked down and will be removed in the autumn, and there's an absolutely enormous slug in the middle of it, which I'll show you in a minute. I've also managed to hack down a lot of the dead growth on my potentilla, revealing this rather spiffy crocosmia sitting in the middle. Lovely plant, wrong place. Now for the slug. He's an absolute monster, and I'm going to pellet him later, along with these little friends here. Some of these are finished flowering, so I'll take out those that are finished. This is another plant that's going to be moved. And I'll just pull up these foxgloves as well. This is another plant which I'm going to try and eliminate from my garden next year. Good luck, I hear you say. And finally, there's just the end of the bed here. I'm really not a fan of this plant. It's extremely pernicious like the fireweed, so it's coming out. Let's see where I need to dig. Dig here. Just hope I don't snap my fork. Whew. That was hard work actually. Found a lot of snails around. And I also found these irises just in the middle, right in the middle of that plant. Obviously next year I'm going to move these, but I think that's job done for today. Look at my hair. You may be asking yourself, why all the change in that bed? Well, when I bought the house, I bought the plants that went with it as well in the garden. And I've lived with somebody else's vision of this garden for 3 years. And although I like the idea of the beds and where they are, I somehow feel that some of the plants are in completely the wrong place, and I don't actually like some of the others, so I've got rid of them. And there's some other plants which I'd like to introduce into the garden, and to do that I need space. So behind me it's looking a lot better, although I will do the border right by the fence at some time during the week if I get a chance. Now, over to my onions. We're Got some nice weather forecasts for the next few days, so it's an ideal opportunity to lift my onions. Just rub up any excess soil. I'll put them together, lying down to dry. Et voila! Now we'll just leave the sun to get at them for a couple of days. Well, that's all I've got time for this week, and I think I need another shower. Thanks for... look at the state of my hands. Thanks for watching, and do join me next time in Titli's busy garden.